1,000 years ago, pioneers departed Earth to establish the League of Free Worlds. Some were fortunate to settle on warm, sun-drenched planets, while others were destined for harsher realities, like being born on a planet shrouded in impenetrable swamps. Despite the challenges, people built a thriving model city amidst the chaos, where order, prosperity, and total control reigned supreme. Krista found herself unable to accept this way of life, leading to her imprisonment. However, on planet XT-59, where death penalties were non-existent, she faced a different fate. Alongside 9 other prisoners, she was condemned to lifelong exile in the unforgiving swamps. If they were fortunate, they might stumble upon the elusive Paradise Islands, but such success stories were mere whispers amidst the dangers lurking within the teeming swamps, where deadly creatures roamed freely. As the prisoners prepared for what seemed like their final journey, tension thickened in the air. Suddenly, the captain singled out one of them, his head concealed under a sack, and directed him to lead the way. With cautious steps, the prisoner hesitated, questioning the presence of a security barrier. Miraculously, he skillfully dodged an invisible threat, prompting the captain to deactivate the barrier. With the tension palpable, the captain proceeded to read the sentence, unveiling the prisoner's face as the sack was removed. Then, a metal box containing essential supplies was thrust into their hands, accompanied by a stern ultimatum: depart within the hour or face instant execution by the guards. Amidst the chaos, one woman erupted into hysterics, vehemently claiming her innocence and tourist status. But in this unforgiving landscape, amidst the harsh realities of exile, innocence held little sway. As the chaos ensued, the woman made a desperate attempt to flee, only to be intercepted and soothed by Christie's reassuring presence. With tension still high, a prisoner newly freed from the sack, identifying himself as Erwin, suggested a round of introductions to break the ice. However, before the introductions could commence, their efforts were halted by the imposing figure of UST, known as the Polar Wolf. A veteran of the swamps, the Polar Wolf's presence demanded respect. He wasted no time in asserting his authority, delving into each member's background and intentions with a keen eye. Before long, their conversation was abruptly interrupted by the sudden appearance of a dangerous local creature known as the Pagan, emerging from the depths of the underground, reminding them all of the perils that lurked in the shadows of their new home. The creature, sensitive to vibrations, lurked ominously, ready to strike and drag its unfortunate prey underground. In the midst of this danger, Christie firmly declared her intention to trust only Erwin's guidance. However, UST, ever commanding, swiftly reminded Christie of his authority, unwilling to yield to any challenges to his leadership. Undeterred, Erwin proposed a practical solution, dividing the supplies among the group. As he opened the box, anticipation filled the air. But chaos ensued as everyone clamored for their share, leaving Erwin with only a knife in hand. Once more, UST asserted his dominance, reminding the group of his leadership role. But Erwin, defiant and determined, refused to bow to the dictates of a prisoner. With resolve, he declared his intent to depart for the Paradise Islands, regardless of UST's objections, signaling a dramatic shift in the group dynamic and setting the stage for further conflict and resolution. With determination burning in their eyes, Christie and Erwin made a bold decision to stand together, united in their quest for survival. However, before embarking on their journey, they insisted on claiming their fair share of the essential supplies. Yet, as they reached for their portion, the henchmen of the wolf attempted to assert dominance, claiming rights over Christie's share. Erwin, refusing to yield to such intimidation, swiftly intervened, pressing a knife against the henchman's throat. In a tense standoff, Erwin's words cut through the tension, reminding all present of the consequences of infighting among the prisoners. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the wolf had no choice but to concede, begrudgingly allowing Christie and Erwin to take what was rightfully theirs, marking a pivotal moment in their struggle for freedom amidst the unforgiving swamps. As tensions eased slightly, Erwin seized an opportunity for further negotiation, requesting the metal box itself in exchange for a portion of their food supply. Surprisingly, the wolf relented, agreeing to the exchange, perhaps recognizing the wisdom in ensuring every member of the group had the means to survive. With the matter settled, the wolf wasted no time in issuing orders for their imminent journey. However, as preparations commenced, Christie, ever compassionate, couldn't ignore the plight of the helpless tourist. She turned to Erwin, appealing for assistance, but he steadfastly refused. In his eyes, the woman's fate was already sealed, even if she remained unaware of it. Despite this grim reality, Erwin displayed a pragmatic sensibility, urging Christie to proceed ahead of him. With her lighter weight, she would be less likely to sink into the treacherous swamps. And if the worst were to happen, Erwin vowed to be there, ready to pull her to safety, a gesture of trust and solidarity amidst the harsh realities of their exile. As the voice from the fortress commanded the prisoners to reach the shore, the wolf wasted no time, leading his team forward with purpose. Meanwhile, Erwin and Christie secured a heavy box with ropes, readying themselves for the journey ahead. Suddenly, a gunshot shattered the air, sending everyone scrambling for cover. Amidst the chaos, Irwin realized he was the intended target. With swift decisiveness, he compelled Christie to crawl out of harm's way. Along their perilous path, Christie couldn't help but notice small, crawling creatures, but Irwin reassured her of their harmlessness, suggesting they could potentially serve as food, an idea that stirred disgust within her. Despite the unnerving surroundings, Irwin's calculated actions inspired confidence. With each step, he navigated obstacles with ease, displaying a remarkable ability to anticipate and overcome challenges. As they forged ahead, they kept a watchful eye on the wolf's team, trailing behind them. In Irwin, Christie found solace, a beacon of resilience and resourcefulness amidst the uncertainty of their exile. As they pressed onward, Christie's mind swirled with questions, pondering the identity of the man Irwin once was before his exile. Doubts gnawed at her, casting shadows over the notion of the fabled Paradise Islands. Yet, Irwin's pragmatic perspective offered a glimmer of reassurance. He reasoned that if the islands were mere legend, there would be no need to attempt his assassination. Confident in his abilities, Irwin navigated the treacherous terrain with assurance, despite it being his first foray into the swamp. Meanwhile, far from the murky depths, the captain faced a different kind of turmoil. Reprimanded by the president for the survival of the advisor, Sergeant Matias, who had infiltrated their ranks, the captain found himself under scrutiny. Attempting to quell the president's concerns, he emphasized the impenetrable nature of the swamps, a feeble attempt to mask the unsettling truth lurking beneath the surface of their supposed security. Amidst their journey through the harsh swamp, Christie and Irwin stumbled upon a small stream of clean water, a rare blessing in their bleak surroundings. As Christie paused to refresh herself, washing away the grime of their plight, she couldn't help but dwell on her misfortunes. Suddenly, Irwin's urgent command to freeze startled her, igniting a flicker of suspicion. Yet, her apprehension quickly faded as Irwin pointed out the looming threat of the pagan, emerging stealthily from the earth below. Reacting swiftly, Christie seized a knife, slicing off a portion of the creature with determined resolve. In the aftermath of their skirmish, as Christie tended to Irwin's wound, the pair found solace in shared vulnerability. Opening up, Christie revealed the circumstances that led to her imprisonment, a courageous stand against an inspector's inappropriate advances, a defiant act that ultimately landed her in the unforgiving confines of the prison. At that critical moment, the Wolf's group emerged from their rocky hiding spot, their intentions clear. They aimed to reclaim the metal box. Undeterred, Irwin swiftly seized the portion of the creature cut off by Christie, ingeniously fashioning it into an electric whip. With a flick of his wrist, he wielded it as a formidable deterrent, forcing the wolf to reconsider his next move. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the wolf begrudgingly conceded, allowing Irwin and Christie to depart. Yet, his determination remained unyielding as he doggedly pursued their trail, driven by a personal vendetta against Irwin and a desire to reclaim leadership over former prisoners rumored to inhabit the rotten shore. As they pressed onward, Irwin's keen senses detected the telltale signs of danger lurking beneath the swamp's surface. Urging Christie to remain still and silent, they watched in tense anticipation as a colossal root of the pagan emerged, dragging the wolf's group into the depths below, an ominous reminder of the perils that surrounded them in this unforgiving landscape. Amidst the unfolding chaos, the president once again reached out to the captain, seeking reassurance that the necessary measures had been taken. Confidently, the captain assured him that his man was hot on the trail within the treacherous swamps. As night fell, Irwin and Christie sought refuge, their weary bodies craving respite from the day's trials. With a glimmer of vulnerability, Irwin offered to share his story with Christie, provided she could solve a riddle about the cost of a chocolate bar. However, as he began to lay out the conditions of the challenge, fatigue overcame Christie, and she drifted into a restless sleep. In the dead of night, Christie was roused from her slumber by an eerie sound, her senses alert to the approaching danger. With dread sinking in her heart, she beheld a menacing wave of creatures closing in on their vulnerable sanctuary, signaling yet another harrowing trial in their journey for survival. In a desperate bid for survival, Christie attempted to flee, but Irwin acted swiftly, tossing her into the box before climbing in himself and sealing the lid shut. Huddled together in the confines of their makeshift sanctuary, they braced themselves as the wave of creatures crashed against their fragile barricade. Despite the relentless assault, they remained unscathed within the protective confines of the box. As the chaos subsided and silence enveloped the swamp once more, Irwin and Christie cautiously emerged from their temporary refuge. Christie's first query was about the riddle Irwin had posed earlier, and with the answer in hand, she found a sense of calm amidst the uncertainty. With the immediate danger past, they discarded the box, no longer needing its shelter. Pressing onward, they ventured into the liquid expanse of the swamp, their resolve unshaken by the trials they had faced, as they continued their journey into the unknown depths of the marshland. Amidst the murky depths of the swamp, the remnants of the wolf's group persisted in their pursuit of Irwin and Christie. Sensing the urgency of the moment, Lila broke away from her comrades, determined to catch up with the couple. But her impulsive decision led to a perilous misstep, plunging the wolf into a treacherous swamp pit. As Lila struggled to free herself, she unwittingly revealed a crucial detail: Erwin's past as a former presidential advisor. Despite her slip-up, Yan, one of the prisoners, extended a helping hand, pulling the wolf to safety. With nightfall casting its shadow over the marshlands, Erwin took charge, establishing a campsite for the weary travelers. Amidst the flickering flames, he compelled Christie to consume raw tadpoles, a stark reminder of the harsh realities of their existence. In a moment of vulnerability, Erwin confided in Christie, disclosing his true identity as the former presidential advisor driven by a nagging conscience. He divulged his plan to expose the authorities' corruption by unleashing a virus into the control system, a move that would pave the way for a new era of freedom and autonomy. With the fate of the free world hanging in the balance, Erwin held the key to unlocking a future untethered from oppression, a future where the people would reclaim their autonomy and forge their own path forward. As dawn broke, the city's once impenetrable system began to crumble, its communication satellites faltering under the weight of Erwin's orchestrated collapse. Meanwhile, Layla and the others, now separated from the wolf, stumbled upon a group of feral inhabitants, their anguished cries echoing through the desolate landscape. Overwhelmed by the horrors unfolding around them, Christie's anger boiled over, condemning the cruel method of punishment devised by Erwin. In a moment of despair, she implored him to rid the world of his code, urging him to burn himself so that no one could exploit his knowledge for their own gain. Erwin, grappling with the consequences of his actions, found himself at a crossroads. What he once believed to be a humane act now seemed fraught with unintended consequences, leaving him torn between his ideals and the harsh reality of their situation. As the weight of their choices bore down upon them, Christie and Erwin faced a reckoning, their fates intertwined in the tumultuous upheaval of a world on the brink of transformation. As chaos unfolded around them, Erwin's cries for a futile battle echoed through the desolate landscape, met with eerie silence from the supposed savages. In a gut-wrenching revelation, Christie confessed to Erwin that she had been offered freedom in exchange for his demise. Meanwhile, the wolf, driven by desperation, uncovered Leah's treachery among their ranks. As she attempted to flee, she met her demise in the deadly embrace of a swamp fungus, leaving the wolf to seek vengeance against those who dared to betray him. In a parallel pursuit, the captain dispatched Sergeant Matias to track down the elusive advisor, while another member of the wolf's group met a grim fate. Yet, amidst the chaos, Yan, one of the prisoners, caught up with Erwin and Christie, momentarily distracting Erwin and leading him into a trap set by the wolf. Bound and at the mercy of his captor, Erwin urged Christie to flee, but she surprised him with a sudden kiss, a fleeting moment of defiance against the grim reality they faced. Frustrated by Erwin's mockery, the wolf attempted to assert his dominance, only to find himself burdened with the weight of his captive on his back, a poignant symbol of the shifting power dynamics amidst the chaos of their world. As Sergeant Matias's group descended upon the ruins of the old prison, inhabited by the wild remnants of society, the wolf's group soon followed suit, leaving Erwin and Christie stranded on the sidelines. In a bid to negotiate, the wolf approached the sergeant, seeking an alliance, but his plans were thwarted when Erwin managed to free himself and make a daring escape. Determined to reclaim his lost prey, the wolf vowed to track down Erwin, but his pursuit was abruptly cut short by a fatal shot from the sergeant. Meanwhile, Matias, relentless in his pursuit, stumbled upon Christie and Yan, swiftly dispatching the latter and leading the girl onward. In a tense standoff, Erwin confronted Matias, offering himself in exchange for Christie's freedom. The military agreed, but their plan took a dark turn when a tranquilizer dart meant for Christie found its mark, sending Erwin reeling. In a final act of defiance, the fatally wounded wolf intervened, driving a knife into Matias's back. As Erwin grappled with the unfolding chaos, the dying wolf imparted a haunting revelation: the elusive Paradise Islands were but a myth. With his last breath, he urged Erwin to abandon the futile pursuit, before taking his own life to escape the impending suffering. In the aftermath of the chaos, Erwin and Christie were left to grapple with the harsh reality of their shattered dreams, their hopes of salvation dashed amidst the ruins of a world consumed by violence and betrayal. As Erwin carried Christie in his arms, they reached the edge of the sea, where the advisor revealed the truth about the Paradise Islands. They were rafts constructed from plants, offering a means to cross the strait. Meanwhile, the captain, realizing the futility of further pursuit, dispatched the last combat drone after the advisor. However, Christie, roused from her stupor, noticed their makeshift island sinking, prompting Job, a fellow prisoner, to leap into action and save them from the perilous waters. Their relief was short-lived as they heard the ominous hum of an approaching drone. Miraculously, the drone malfunctioned, plummeting into the sea, a testament to Erwin's successful virus and the collapse of the city's control system. Yet, their joy was tempered by the sight of a looming cliff ahead. Bracing themselves within their plant-made raft, Erwin and Christie miraculously survived a harrowing plunge over a colossal waterfall, finally reaching the shore where a secret bunker lay hidden, a sanctuary designed by Erwin for the president's escape. However, unlocking the bunker's secrets proved daunting, with only 2 attempts allowed to input the correct code. Remembering Irwin's riddle about the chocolate bar, Christie suggested using the president's answer, a gamble that paid off when the bunker's door swung open. Yet, their hopes were dashed when they discovered the spaceship within was single-seated. Irwin, selflessly, insisted that Christie should fly alone, but her love for him prevailed as she refused to leave his side, opting to face the unknown together. In the closing scenes of the movie, the voices of Christie and Irwin resonate, revealing their miraculous escape as they somehow managed to squeeze into the spaceship together. Thanks to their courage and determination, the League of Free Worlds uncovered the truth about their planet, dismantling the remnants of the oppressive control system. However, their victory was short-lived. The movie went a decade later, a new system emerged on planet XT-59, even more oppressive than before.